Are you in the zone? Yes.
All right, we're about to get started. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Neffy, and my pronouns are she, hers, and hers. And for today, I have on a multicolored blue shirt, blouse with black and brown and the blue skies, which we wish it was, but it's a little cloudy today. I will be your person that will be kicking off this wonderful event for National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Right now, I want to take a moment and introduce one of the best SOSAs in the system at ORD. Yes, a shameless plug, ORD, proud. Daniel, he is our guest today doing his special podcast right here at Willis. And Daniel, today we are honored to have someone who truly embodies leadership, advocacy, and passion. Daniel is not only a dedicated service ambassador at United Airlines and SOSA, he is also the SOSA chair on the Bridge BRG board. But here is also a former Sergeant Shriver Global Messenger, an athlete leader, and a certified health messenger with Special Olympics Illinois. Daniel is also an award-winning podcaster, columnist, and disability advocate who is best known as the founder and host of Special Chronicles, a groundbreaking podcast platform for over 800 episodes across 17 years. Through storytelling and journalism, Daniel is a recipient of the Matthew Freeman Award for Social Justice for his efforts through media to give people with disability a voice. So I am going to turn it over to Daniel.
Thanks, Novi. And this is a little different podcast than we're used to being in studio. And so before we begin, I'll let you guys. Oh, and we're gonna play the theme song, which we couldn't figure out how you guys could hear what's coming out of the mixer, but hopefully next week the podcast will be available online, and so if you are not yet following or subscribed, the link was in the invite for where you can follow, subscribe, do all those things. For those of you out there in Teams, we'll try to share that link in the chat as well. And yeah, so we'll play the theme song, and then during that intro, I had to make a last-minute cue card, and so when I hold. I didn't have spell check, but after we played the theme song, I'm going to hold this up, and instead of playing the sound effects that we usually have with the live audience,
let's do it real.
Yeah, no, we're going to do it real. Who needs the sound effects? So here we go. And 3, 2, 1.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Awesome. Welcome back to the Special Chronicles podcast, giving respect and voice to people with special needs as a part of our unified at Work Series. We're recording live from United Airlines Global Headquarters in Chicago. I'm your host, Daniel Smrokowski, and I'm proud to serve on the Bridge Board as the SOSA chair and be part of United's Service Ambassador team at OLD. I don't know what my SOSA colleagues will think when Nuffy said the best SOSA, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. My pronouns are he, him, and to describe myself for those with low vision, I'm a white male, dark hair, glasses, a light blue SOSA polo, as well as a United Bridge gray vest. October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, a time we celebrate the contributions of individuals with disabilities in the workforce. This episode is the season 6 finale of our popular Unified at Work series that focuses on conversations about inclusive employment. You can find today's show notes and access over 17 years, over 800 podcast episodes on specialchronicles.com. If you are watching the video podcast on YouTube, you can scan the QR code that's at the top of the screen. If you're listening to the audio podcast or in the live audience, look in the description below, look in the Teams chat, look in specialchronicles.com. I'm so excited to welcome our guest, David Kinzelman, Senior Vice President of Airport Operations and Chief Customer Officer and Bridge's newest executive sponsor. David, thanks for joining us, and maybe we'll give instead of a virtual applause, we'll give another. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for having me.
So, can you start by introducing yourself as well as describing yourself for those with low vision? Because in a lot of our bridge events, that's what we do to keep it accessible, and then you will at United and at Bridge.
Sure. My name is David Kinzelman, pronouns he, him. I'm white male. I guess I'm wearing a white shirt today. I was actually putting it on thinking, and because I've heard your previous podcast, I thought I'm going to have to describe this somehow. So I guess we'll just go maybe white or gray. Shirt and brown hair, losing some of it each and every day as I age. But I'm excited to be here. As you mentioned, I have the amazing job of being able to support several different groups here at United. The chief customer role really is important to me because that's the group that defines what our current customer experience should be across the board, from booking tickets to what the app looks like, how it functions, what the experience for customers is at our airports and other facilities on board. And so it's a great team that I help support that looks after that and really ties the company together to create one experience for customers as they travel in United. And it's also an interesting role, unlike my predecessor who had the digital responsibilities. Linda Jojo was an amazing leader. You've had her on the podcast before. I have responsibility for our line stations in the domestic and international space as well, which to me is a really nice, has a really nice synergy with the customer teams, because at the end of the day, all of our customers, you may purchase tickets through different channels, you may have different experiences, but they're all coming through our airports to board our airplanes. So it's nice having that connection to the operation to kind of make sure that we stay connected and stay in sync.
Awesome. And can you, as you know, and I'm sure a lot of our live audience here knows, Bridge is our business resource group for people with disabilities. Can you share your connection to our disability community?
Yeah, I was actually really excited at this opportunity. I had for several years prior to this, supported a BRG called Unite here at United, which is the multicultural BRG. And then to have the opportunity to support Bridge, to me, is perfect, because all of our BRGs, the goal is to give people a place, to give them an opportunity to connect with not just people like them, but with the whole diverse population that we have here at United, to support them and actually support the community through the work that we are doing. So when this opportunity came available, I was really excited. I have some close personal friends who are also on the board, and I'm really excited about where we're going. I'm proud of what United is doing in the disability space, making travel more accessible to everyone. And to the extent that I can use my voice to help promote that, I'm really excited about.
Awesome. So to kick off all, we've got a bunch of topics to get to today, but to kick off, how do you see your leadership role impacting accessibility and inclusion at United?
Okay, I'm a little intimidated, I have to tell you. I speak a lot and I travel a lot and I present a lot. But when I was listening to some of your podcasts, I know this is your 18th year, 17th year?
17th year, yes.
Yeah, and how many podcasts have you done?
Over 800.
800. 800. Daniel, just sharing a little vulnerability here. This is my first podcast ever. So I'm with the OG here. So I'm a little nervous about that. So keep it moving. And if I'm out of line, just let me know. What was your question? First tip, always remember what the host asks you, right? Okay.
I am going by the show notes here, but how do you see your leadership role impacting accessibility and inclusion?
Yeah, I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that, because as an executive sponsor for the BRG, there's a role that the BRG can play in accessibility and creating a better work environment for our employees who have special needs. However, the connection to our customers is really important too, because just like a company that has over 100,000 people has a broad range of employees, so do our customer population, where we're carrying 500,000 customers every single day. They're coming from all backgrounds and they have all experiences with travel, and some of them are really self-sufficient and others need support. And so being able to be involved in the operations, and then through the Bridge leadership, I think I'm able to be a strong voice in that space and advocate on their behalf for both our employees and teammates as well as our customers.
Awesome. And so now as we move into disability accessibility and inclusion, how will United Airlines champion being the airline where, because like there's so many people with disabilities fly and travel on different airlines and different ways, but how will United be the airline where people with disabilities feel safe and comfortable flying? I mean, looking at O'Hare, I come across all different, like from physical to those of us with intellectual disabilities, but how will United be the airline where people with disabilities feel safe and comfortable flying?
Well, the first thing we have to do is listen to our customers that have special needs. And that's why it's so important for us to have the connections through organizations like Bridge and through the SOSA program, because we can learn by listening to them and find out what should we be doing to make travel easier. I mean, look, I travel a lot and I'd like to think I know how to do it. No, I'm familiar with facilities. I'm familiar with shortcuts. I'm familiar with the app, but I fully appreciate that I'm not normal in that sense. There's a very small population of our travelers who have that sort of knowledge. And so it's about sharing opportunities for everyone to have experiences which create a more comfortable environment. Travel can be stressful. And it's not just the part where we see the customers. It's stressful just getting to airports and checking bags. And some people have anxiety just preparing for the trip. Like, how do I pack, and what's the timing of things that I need to do? So we are relentlessly in the customer organization for United. We are relentlessly focused on eliminating friction from the customer journey for everyone across the board. And that means tackling those things which cause stress through the journey. It could be at the airport, it could be on board, it could be just booking tickets and how to navigate the app. So we're really focused on trying to make it better for everyone. And by focusing also on trying to make it better for folks with special needs or disabilities, we actually do make it better for everyone.
Awesome. And building upon that, and as we talk about the customer experience and accessibilities, and part of that listening that you talked about, we've got a few different airport operations and customer service teams that have worked on a few projects. I know Bridge has been involved with Bridge over the past 2 or 3 years. I've witnessed a few projects. One being we were able to be the first airline to put Braille on the new aircrafts. The Travel Accessibility Board. Side note: I was just asked to join our Travel Accessibility Board. Awesome. The social story that a few of us SOSAs in Chicago were a part of, that is on United's website. The Hidden Disability Sunflower lanyard. I've got one in my bag that I was going to pull out and forgot. But if you don't know what that is, you can just Google it. The accessible. Oh wait, maybe I should just say, go back on the Unified at Work series. The CEO of the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower was on this podcast, so I should just point you all there.
That's a good idea.
And then the accessibility on United's app with the vision impairments. And then the HQ signage with Braille and new aircraft accessibility features, new lobby design with inclusive colors. So those are some. Can you talk about some of those initiatives?
Yeah, they're all really important, and they're actually, in addition to initiatives, part of that listening to the populations, whether they're employee focused or whether they are from our customers, really helps us define what it is that we want the experience to be like. And so Braille on new aircraft, we're really proud of that. And it's not just a matter of putting Braille all over the place. It's putting Braille where people who are visually challenged might naturally look for it. Having Braille in the right places, being able to move through the cabin on board and to find their seat without having to slow the process down or feel like they are an encumbrance for others. That's really important. I'm excited. We're putting that on all of our new aircraft and aircraft that we have currently flying that we retrofit or upgrade the interiors. We're adding those as well, which is great. I talked about listening. The Travel Accessibility Board is awesome. It's a board. I believe it's 10 now. It goes between 9 and 10, but I think it's at 10 now. Glad you're going to be participating in that more directly, which will be awesome. We just had that group in the building not long ago, a month or so ago, and reconnected with them. And that team is important because they represent the full spectrum of folks that have special needs across the board. And so by listening to them and hearing suggestions for how they think we could do things differently, we're actually able to implement initiatives like Braille and like others that will really make their journey smoother as well. I'm excited for that group to continue. The social story is out there, as you mentioned. There are a lot of, I talked about stress in the travel experience. If you don't travel very often, it can be very stressful. It can be kind of a foreign environment, very loud,
Sorry, I'm just adjusting the mic.
very distracting. It could be distracting.
Good tie-in.
So yeah, just keep it real. Whatever you need to do.
Yes.
Whatever you need to do. I think that is important. To make people more comfortable before they actually get into the environment, they can be kind of guided. Here's what the lobby experience might look like. Here's what you should expect at gates and things like that. You can look on the website, or you can, as you mentioned, look at our app, which is just been amazing and continues to be a really good source for information for folks that are traveling. We talked a little bit about the vision for folks with vision impairments, how to use the app. Many people in that situation rely on other software to read out instructions and give guidance, and so we wanted to be sure that our app worked well with those other pieces of software, so that customers could actually listen to the instructions and not necessarily have to read everything that's on the app. We are also doing some testing with boarding announcements and pushing information to customers at the gate about their information, so they don't have about the flight status, so they don't have to sit at the gate the whole time and wait for instructions, and they can actually move, and we'll push the same messages that you might hear at the gate to the app, so customers can get into an environment where they're a little bit more comfortable, don't necessarily feel some of the stress or anxiety that they might at the gate. So all kinds of cool things happening there. And you mentioned headquarters. One of our employees who's visually impaired, Ray, he is famous, and he helped us as we were designing the facility here to make it the layout a little bit more intuitive, to put signs where people who are visually impaired might expect them, and help them navigate this new space.
Awesome. Now, switching gears to a topic that I've been familiar with since it started, the impact of the service ambassadors or SOSAs. For those, some of you might know what SOSAs stands for, but for those of you who don't, Special Olympics service ambassadors. I'm one of the first 4 that was hired 6 years ago this month. So yeah.
Congratulations. You should have held your applause card.
Oh, maybe I don't even need. Oh, it's somewhere.
We got it. We
So,
did,
yeah,
we did it naturally.
Yeah,
anyway, it's okay.
See, that's when the live audience already knows when to applaud. So before we talk, I guess to set up the service ambassadors, you share with us first how you heard about the SOSAs. I recall, well, after we had our pre-show meeting about this about this live podcast, I remembered that a year ago we had our annual SOSA summit where all the service ambassadors come together for all day training, and I remember that you spoke to us on Teams there. So, and last year in 2024. So, was that the first time you heard of us SOSAs, or was there another experience of you hearing about us SOSAs?
That was not the first time I heard about, especially about John McGrath, who was one of the initial advocates of the program. And now that was at O'Hare, of course, and now she leads our Denver hub and is still a tireless advocate for SOSAs, which is great. In addition to hearing about the SOSA program from her, I got to see it because I'll see you and some of your colleagues out there. But you may have forgotten this. I should have brought a photograph because we spent some time together. In fact, it was the Special Olympics were out there, and it was one of the events that United does, where we pull the planes and teams compete on pulling an aircraft out at the airport. And the Special Olympic service ambassadors were out there. In fact, I think the original 4 was there. There were several of them
in Houston.
No, it was here. It was here. So your your reputation precedes you. Let's just say that.
Didn't even know that before today.
I should have brought the photos. I've got photographic evidence of it, so you can't deny it.
So, speaking of the impact of talk to us about how have the service ambassadors or SOSAs influenced Bridge BLG, the United family, and the customer experience across key hubs like Chicago, Denver, Houston, Washington, Dallas, LAX, and more to come, hopefully. And what stands about our role in promoting inclusive employment and equitable career paths?
Yeah. I think what when we think about the SOSA program and why it's been so impactful, I would say first of all that it's important to know that those are they're real jobs, it's real work, and it's important for us to have these roles. I think what it goes beyond is the uniqueness of those roles sitting in our operation. Day in and day out, the SOSAs are part of the operation. You drive our operational performance, you drive our customer experience, and that's something that is externally facing too. So our entire teams at these hubs, which you mentioned, get to see you and your colleagues working, but so do our customers. And there's a real message there where you all are living examples of the importance of having an inclusive employment opportunity. You continue to make career progressions just like anyone else would, but the thing that I think is unique is you all have these special gifts. There's these superpowers that many of our customers have as well. And unless we see that and we hear from you about it, it might go unnoticed. And so I think there's a real opportunity through the SOSA program to actually broaden what sort of experience we create for our customers throughout their journey.
Awesome. When I've spoken a lot about inclusive employment, and I've heard other people speak about inclusive employment before, and I've heard that a lot of people talk about that it's not just about hiring us, but it's good for business. And when you just talked about how not only is us SOSAs have real jobs and part of the operation, but we help to drive performance, that I think that speaks to how when we talk about inclusive employment, how it's good for business, that's a good connection. I don't know if you want to add anything to.
Yeah, I do. In addition to what you just mentioned about driving performance and improving customer experience, if you think about things like our accessibility board, those are leaders of businesses. That's all. They represent populations of travelers that are looking for a place to feel comfortable with their travel. They're looking for a place to spend their money as they visit. And so to the extent that we get this right, it is good for business.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's exciting, and it's also it's exciting and amazing that in 6 years that we're growing the SOSAs to all the U.S. hubs. So I like even talking to some of my SOSA colleagues in Chicago, like we're excited to be role models for the new SOSAs that are coming on, and it's neat to be able to, just like when you talk to colleagues on your team, everybody here in the live audience, both here in the room and on Teams, when you talk to your colleagues, we do the same thing, and I think that's what's, like what you talked about, that's what's really powerful about inclusive employment, that United is not just hiring us, but is taking the inclusive employment to a whole new level. That a lot of times, like when we were growing up in school, we were told just to get a job, like whether it's at a grocery store, and but this particular job is something that we were not told, or at least I can speak from my experience, was not told from any of special ed teachers in the past.
Yeah, you are all role models, and in fact, the fact that the BRG that we have that you're a part of is called Bridge is perfect, because you also are a bridge to the rest of the team out at O'Hare. They see you. Yeah. They see you. They watch you work. You can help them understand what special needs might look like in certain populations and how they can be supportive. Yeah. So it's the word ambassador is there for a reason. Yeah. You all are great ambassadors.
Yeah. Thank you. And I've heard from a number of coworkers that they all put that their perspective on disability is being changed every day when we're working. That we don't that they might thought that we couldn't do something, but when they see us helping the passengers, it's also powerful to see how our teams that they all put perspectives are being changed.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Even in the early days of this podcast, there was an airline pilot that listened in 17 years ago, and he has since helped me with some equipment, but his perspective on disability has, and he wasn't a pilot for this airline, and I'm not going to say where, but he's retired now. But yeah, just the fact that here's somebody else in the airline field whose perspective changed. Moving right along, as we talked about at the beginning of the program today, that October was National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Why is it important for United Airlines to celebrate and highlight inclusive employment during National Disability Employment Awareness Month?
Well, I would say that we do this every day. Every day of the year, we are focused on the initiatives that we've talked about. The SOSA program is running. But from time to time, it can run below the radar. And so I think that the nice thing about having a single month where we really shine a light on it and celebrate all of these initiatives that United is doing to make travel and employment better for people of all abilities is an awesome thing. And so it's concentrated, it's during the 1 month, but it's our one time a year where we can all talk about all of these great programs that are in place and celebrate the inclusive nature of these programs.
Yeah. So you need to
caught you mid-drink.
Yeah, mid-drink.
I should have stretched it out just about another 10 seconds.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's okay.
It's because it's my first podcast.
No, it's.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah, no. After you do a couple of these, you'll learn to give the host a sip.
Noted. This may be my last podcast. I don't know, first and last.
Who knows? Maybe somebody might listen to this and want to have you on. I almost lost my train of thought. It's a good thing I've got notes. When we talk about NDEAM, what advice or expert tips would you share with other companies looking to create inclusive employment programs? Because it was really powerful when the SOSA started 10, okay. 6 years ago, during NDEAM, it was, I don't know if HR had planned that, but with that in mind, can you share with us advice or expert tips with other companies looking to create, maybe not necessarily copying this, but I've spoken across the country, even to other companies who hear about the service ambassadors and might be interested in creating a similar program to what we have at United. So do you have any tips to share?
Sure. I think there are a few things. First of all, having a BRG or an employee resource group is critical. Recognizing that creating environments for people of all abilities where they feel comfortable is great. So that's one thing I would say is if you don't have a business resource group or an employee resource group, you should start one. That's a great place to kind of kick that off. The SOSA program is amazing because, as I mentioned, it's connecting employees and teammates with the customers, which also can put a company in better touch with a certain percentage of its population of customers, which is great. It's a great program, and as I mentioned earlier, it's also it can be good for business. I would say, though, that a couple of other things are really important to remember. The first is the jobs that SOSAs do, and I said this already, they're real jobs. It's real work that someone needs to do. If you create something that isn't real, it won't be sustained, and you won't create the change that you're really looking for. It will feel a little bit transient, which is not lasting. The second thing is you've got to create a support structure for people in those roles too. We all need advocates, no matter what our abilities are. But if there are special needs or different abilities, we have to reinforce that. We can't you can't create a program and then not support it through either structure or through training or through mentorship. That's critical too if you want to create something like the SOSA program that has proven longevity over time.
Awesome. I'm going to combine a few bullets for the sake of time because I think we have less than 10 minutes left. There's a reason why I kind of said 10 in that last question. What's with kind of breaking down that fourth wall for our audience? How, when we talk about the Good Leads the Way campaign that United has, how does the message of disability inclusion and the work of SOSAs fit into United's Good Leads the Way? And then follow that up with how the mission of United's Bridge BRD, what the mission of Bridge and how that's connected as well to Good Leads the Way.
Yeah. So for Good Leads the Way, I mean, honestly, I can't think of any better example of good leading the way than the SOSA program and Bridge. You would be hard pressed to find customers who engage with the SOSAs in the field who don't walk away smiling or happy or appreciative, because that's the way all of you show up. In fact, to be an ambassador, you have to have a certain mindset. And one thing I've observed in every SOSA that we have in the field is an openness, a willingness to meet customers where they are, and a general positivity, energy. Each of you, I'm not sure who's selecting our SOSAs, but they're doing an amazing job, because that is, and that's infectious. Like it's good for our customers to see that, but it's really good for the rest of our team to see it too. You guys epitomize energy when we're in the field, and positivity, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Especially in an environment that can be stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was 5 minutes left. I was often told, I was going to leave another comment, but I'm going to skip that comment. You all can just send me a message afterwards and ask me for that comment. As we wrap up here, looking ahead, can you briefly share what are your hopes for the future of accessibility and inclusion at United Airlines, and then a final message on your overall time here today on the Special Chronicles podcast? Yeah.
So for the future and what we're planning to do in this space, I am super excited. We haven't had time to talk about it today, but we have so many things that we're working on through the app, through the customer teams, whether it's accessibility, whether it's dealing with personal mobility devices, wayfinding, all of these things, which can be especially challenging to folks with special needs. We have some great programs and projects underway now, which I'm super excited about. That's going to roll out over the next couple of years. It's already starting, but we're gonna keep after this for the next couple of years, which is going to create a much better experience for customers, regardless of their abilities. And I'm hoping, and I feel very strongly, that United's going to lead the way on travel for folks with special needs. Regarding the podcast, I want to do it again. We have to do this again, because I've taken some cues from you, and I now know when to keep talking and when to stop talking, which is great.
Maybe even at the airport.
Maybe even at the airport, we could do an impromptu conversation. But I just want to comment on the fact that you continue to drive these podcasts. You continue to create a voice for people and give them guidance to help them navigate spaces which they may find challenging. So I want to thank you for your work in this space. It's just another evidence of the great things that folks with special needs can do each and every day to make the world better for all of us.
Thank you. And we have one final question that we always conclude these podcasts with. Since I came back from the 2019 Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi, because we don't just we want listeners to listen to us, but even more than that, we want listeners to have a call to action and to bring inclusion into their workplaces, into their communities, into their towns, schools. And so this final question will help our live audience in the room, on Teams, all podcast listeners to do that. But we've got a bumper, so we're going to go ahead and roll that bumper, and the live audience can hear this when the podcast comes out. But to introduce that final question.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality.
Dignity.
And the recognition of our
shared humanity. We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution
is inclusion.
Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
So this final question, the inclusion revolution is a big part of the Special Olympics movement. I remember just when we celebrated our 1 year anniversary, I think our comms team did a video, or some social media story that highlighted United in the inclusion revolution. And so what does, and you can answer this however you want, whether it's related to United, SOSA's, NDEAM, or even personally, what does inclusion mean to you?
To me, it means creating a space where folks from all abilities feel comfortable. That could mean with airports, creating an environment that lowers the stress, that creates an environment that people from all abilities feel comfortable and feel like they can navigate successfully. It's important for us. Our motto is connecting people, uniting the world. It's not connecting some people, it's connecting all people. And so in order to do that, we really have to have an inclusive approach to our teammates and to the business and the type of work we take on to create that environment.
Awesome. Thank you for being here for this live episode of the Special Chronicles podcast. Just a quick note to our live audience. Don't leave the virtual room or the in-person room, because we're going to have a live Q&A when we stop recording. And so, so don't go away. We've got a special bonus for the live audience. Thank you all for being here for this live episode of the Special Chronicles podcast. We've been live from United's headquarters in Chicago, part of our Unified at Work series during National Disability Employment Awareness Month. A big thanks to our guest, David Kinzelman, for sharing your leadership and insights. You can listen back to this episode and over 800 more from the past 17 years at specialchronicles.com or wherever you get your podcasts. On behalf of the service ambassadors, the Bridge VRG, and United Airlines, thank you for joining us. And together, we are truly unified at work and choose to include. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smrokowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks, as always, to our business manager, Adam Smrokowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smrokowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
This is just an informal Q&A. We're going to move the mics back. So do we have any questions?
I have a question.
Michael.
Okay, so Michael Toby here. I have a quick question for you, Daniel. I'll kind of stand over here so I can see him over. I was in Dulles last week, and I was lost. Believe it or not, I got there really early in the morning, and I was lost. And I was looking around for somebody that was a United employee to ask a question. I need to find out where the global reception was, which is not near our ticketing counter for those that have been to Dulles. And I saw someone on the United lanyard, and I just went up and noticed it was a SOSA. And I was so excited to see a SOSA because I've never, in my travels, been able to, randomly see an employee, one of our employees. I asked for help. This gentleman could not have been more quick, helpful, knowledgeable. And I want to know from you, how often do you interact with people day in and day out that you feel like you're making a huge difference with? Because I thank this guy. I was in a rush. I was late for a meeting. I had to go to global reception to see one of our agents there. And I was just so appreciative. How often do you get that feedback from customers that they really appreciate you being there?
Good question. A couple quick examples that come to mind. The first is, if we were actually in studio, I've got it hanging up in my studio, but a customer had sent, actually, Jonna, who used to be in Chicago, a compliment about how I helped him, because he was he was flying out of Chicago, and he didn't before he came up to me, he witnessed me interacting with another customer, and he came up to me, and he didn't have a lot of time to get to his flight, and after he flew, he wrote in to on United.com, or however they write in, and Jono had printed out a letter that this customer had wrote in about how grateful he was of how I was able to help him. And I didn't I still have it in my studio, because I didn't. In fact, actually, when Linda Jojo was on, I pulled out that letter. We didn't plan it, but I just, because I didn't expect to make that impact with him. And then there's a couple of other of similar stories, but yeah, never would have imagined to because like you only have a few short time to talk to them.
I want you all to really understand. I love when he said like they do real jobs, and coming from operations, we work together a lot. And SOSA, especially Daniel, because I work with Daniel, I work with Lauren in the lobby, Cal and T2,
and
you on B side or C side. They really help impact when our numbers when it comes down to our
NPS.
metrics. Yes, exactly. When we're tagging bags, that bag tag initiative that we had to start doing, the SOSAs played a key part in it, and Daniel played a key part because they're able to do some of the things that that we weren't able to do, even working with him as an agent. So I started as an agent and worked with Daniel. So I know his family, they impact the numbers. They really help operations. And, when we're at the crunch, so they're very beneficial to our metrics that are happening at ORD.
Yeah. Even like with the backdrop, shortcut that we have in the lobby, like I'm looking at the gates now, but even like our supervisors and team in the lobby, they want me to come back out there just because of how we're able to greet the customers as soon as they come in. Well, most of the time they're going to go to the kiosk and check in and don't even see that. And so we'll like
those numbers. ORD keeps
Yes.
So Michael, a takeaway here is make sure you send a note to Henry about that person, because they're going to probably hang it up on their wall too.
I absolutely will. That's a good point.
Oh,
I was there with our senior manager, Alex Short, and she was unfamiliar with the program, and I told her all about it. I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to actually see this." And it's true. There was not another United employee anywhere near, because most were at the check-in area, and I knew it was not the check-in area. It was kind of in between the two lobbies there, and this was the only person with a United badge, a United lanyard. And there are other customers like me who get lost. And who need navigation, and it was really helpful.
Speaking of that, similar with that story that you shared, when my girlfriend and I went on vacation this past summer to Denver, we actually got lost because we walked like in the wrong direction, and I actually called on Teams a couple of my SOSA colleagues who on Teams, they like my girlfriend and I are walking through Denver, and they were able to help us. So, and I know I get our customers can't call up us, but at least that was helpful for us in Denver.
That's an incredible story. I need to have everyone's on speed dial on my phone. So
Yeah.
I'll contact you later.
Yeah.
Daniel and David, we're gonna close this up now, but I cannot tell you how impressive it was to see this in person. I've never had that opportunity. I don't know if any of you have had that opportunity, but to really bring this to headquarters, a little bit out of your element. I know last night you were showing us your pictures of the bag already, but I think it actually is in line with what David said. When you travel and when you do something a little bit out of your daily routine, it's tough. It's tough for everyone. And especially for those with different needs out there, any different environment can bring any different unexpected challenge. But Daniel, you rose to the occasion.
Thank you.
And I would say, Mr. Kinzelman, your first
Yeah.
you rose to the occasion as well.
You did.
So just a real big thanks to you for joining us today. I know it's tough to find an hour of your time, and Daniel, it's tough to bring all your equipment here, but we're really appreciative.
Thank you.
To everybody in the room, Bridge is our VRG, as you know now, connecting people. It is our VRG of ensuring that people with all abilities are accepted here at the workforce, and obviously we do things with our customers as well. If you like this, please join our VRG so you can get news and information. We have a lot of events. It is NDEAM right now, so we're really heavy in our events, but you'll see a cadence of events throughout the year that are really impactful for our employees that come from all different abilities. We have some incredible swag here. You'll see Daniel is showcasing our lovely lanyard swag. Please take some. It's not just something that you have as a useful tool. It is something to show people who you work with that you are an ambassador for Bridge and that you are understanding of people's abilities and disabilities. So when you wear this, when you wear your pins, it really lets people come up to you and talk to you and find a safe place if they need it. So thank you for coming here today. Thank you for being part of this. Daniel and David, thank you so much. And thank you, Nancy, and everybody.